Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this online lecture.
Good afternoon.
I'll just introduce myself. I'm Dr. Mike Muwin. I've been in healthcare IT for over 18 years. Medyo matagal-tagal ng panahon. I was, in my past life, I was handling several roles in different hospitals. Project manager, CIO, and consultant for EMR vendors. Pero ang field ko talaga has always been hospitals. So right now we have a company that works with hospitals. Our company is called MedProjects. We help hospitals with planning, project management and integration, and also process improvement initiatives. Okay, so this is just a list of our current and previous clients. So as you can see, we really focus on hospitals and healthcare organizations. This lecture is actually first of a series that we plan to do. This first one is all about coming up with strategies and planning. So, paano muna mag-start? And then next week, what we plan to do is to discuss electronic medical records. So, there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to EMRs. Sometimes, naiisip ng iba just having an HIS is already an EMR. So, an EMR is a suite of applications. So, I'm going to explain it next week. And then the third one is to put everything together and come up with a framework to help hospitals do long-term planning for their hospital IT and EMR roadmap. So this is just the first, and we're hoping you can join us in the future lectures. Okay, so I think it's clear to everyone that the pandemic has really challenged our healthcare industry, our hospitals, no? Lahat, not only the hospitals, doctors, and clinics. And it exposed a lot of the weaknesses and vulnerabilities of our system. There were also a lot of missed opportunities for hospitals. A lot of the challenges involved working with yung movement ng mga tao outside of the hospital. So, online transactions, cloud-based systems, ayaw na pumunta ng pasyente sa loob ng hospital. So, it really changed the dynamics of healthcare in a sense. It even changed the way we communicate, coordinate with our own staff. So, hindi lang yung patients, pati yung staff natin, no, sa loob ng hospitals. So, talaga maraming nagbago, may nakita tayong changes. Okay. So even before the pandemic, I usually try to categorize hospitals in terms of their approach to IT. So the first type is they look at IT like a necessary evil. So parang gastos lang yan. They look at IT as an expense. Naku, when you talk about IT, gastos na naman tayo dyan. So, may mga hospitals na gano'n. It's understandable, especially sa mga small ones pa nag-start pa lang. They look at IT na gastos tayo dyan. But a second group looks at IT as something that is needed to improve operational efficiencies. So, they look at it as something that supports their operations. Okay, so paano ba tayo mag-improve dito? Paano ba natin mapabilis itong isang bagay? So they look at operational efficiencies. So this is the time that you look at how do we improve the laboratory? How do we improve the radiology units? How do we improve our financial systems? No? So it's all about operational efficiencies. we really need to improve. But the third one is a small subset of hospitals. They look at IT in their hospital as a strategic advantage. These are the hospitals that when they discuss, they really talk about we need to be different, we need to be better than others. It's not even different than others or better than others. We just need to be different. We need to be better than before. So yung may mga hospitals na gano'n talagang driven sila to find this strategic differentiator for themselves and for the competition and for their patients. So, very focused sila sa mga projects nila. Okay. These are the hospitals. The target is we want to go from one, and then the pandemic came in, and they saw that pagka nasa level 1 ka in a sense, parang hirap na napag-iwanan ka no, sa pandemic. But if you already lay down the foundations with 2 and 3, parang medyo nakakope ka ng konti. Pero still, the change was so big na parang kailangan natin mag-re-strategize in a sense, no, moving forward. End of the year na, 2020, I'm sure a lot of hospitals are trying to see what's in store for 2021. What do we need to do? That's why medyo malaki yung buzzword ng digital transformation. So maraming hospitals ang nagsabi na, let's go. What do we need to do? Let's go and adopt digital transformation for the hospitals. Okay. So let's just go through the definition, obligatory definitions of digital transformation. Digital transformation is the process of using digital technology to transform, to create new or modify existing businesses. Okay, so the use of digital technology. Usually nandyan yung yung focus, the use of digital technology. Tapos there is also this concept of reimagining the business in the digital age. Okay. Another definition of digital transformation from Wikipedia is the adoption of digital technology to transform services or businesses. So marami pa tayong mga definition. There are a lot of definitions, descriptions in the internet. And paminsan nakakalito siya. It can be confusing lalo na dun sa mga hindi tech savvy. Okay? But when I discuss about digital transformation with clients, I emphasize that when you talk about digital transformation, there's always a core question that you want answered. When you start on this initiative, there is a core question. What is this core question? People often start with, what do we need to digitize? Actually, this is the wrong question. This is the wrong question to start with. This is not being strategic. This is focusing on the technology, on the digital aspect of digital transformation. The real question that you need to start with we need to plan for 2021 and everything that has happened is, what do we need to change right now? Given our current situation, given the status of the hospital, given our own capabilities, what do we need to change right now? And can we actually use technology to do that? So the focus shouldn't be on just going digital. The focus should be on changing how things are run right now. So even if it is not digital, as long as you transform to be able to adapt and deal with the changing situation, mas mabuti na yun, di ba? Kesa digital ka nga, pero digital, nasa maling lugar. So it's important to focus on that question. Now, how do you start coming up with a plan on what needs to change? So, pag ilatag mo yung mga aspects within the hospital that you need to address, I use 6 perspectives for hospitals. This is right now we're going to discuss digital transformation, but this is actually useful in any kind of strategic planning activity for hospitals. So This is actually modified or inspired by the balance scorecard that's used in strategic planning. But right now, let's use it for digital transformation. So the first one, the first perspective is actually financials. So you need to look at the financial situation of the hospital. Itong malaking bagay ito. A lot of hospitals really suffered in the early parts of the pandemic. Nawalan ng pasyente, bumaba ang census, okay? And they were trying to struggle with a lot of things, with maintaining costs, fixed costs. So you need to look at the financial aspect. A hospital is still a business. That is not a bad thing. A hospital that cannot sustain itself cannot treat patients. So you really need to look at the financial aspect of the business. May mga struggles dito from the concept of how to collect payments, but not only the collection of payments, but also to accept different forms of payment, from credit card to e-wallets. Okay, so marami struggle dito. There's also a struggle on this perspective for business models that would work to earn additional revenue. The second perspective that you need to look at is actually internal processes or operations. So, paano ba umaandar yung hospital? How do you actually run? How do you operate? So, this is not only about patient care. So, sometimes it's easy to look, hospital is patient care, but a big chunk of the hospital also runs on administrative functions. So, merong purchasing, merong inventory, merong financials, merong supply chain. So you also need to look at those aspects to really improve and change. So titingnan mo yung administrative functions. Ang pinakamalaking learning sa pandemic for a lot of hospitals is that they actually realized that just having an HIS is not enough. It's not enough anymore. Sometimes when you talk to hospitals, meron na kaming HIS, so okay na yan. But when things are moving rapidly and there's really extreme change in the environment, just having an HIS is not enough. You need to look at different IT systems to address different needs. So ancillary, baka HR, baka accounting, baka kailangan. Okay. The third one is actually organizational capabilities. This is about the organization's capability to respond to change, to initiate change, or even to drive change. So this is about your staff, your employees, yung internal skills mo. So ang pinakamalaking challenge to the hospitals was when the workers need to work outside, work from home, medyo nabaldado yung iba. Okay, so parang kailangan nila ng ano gagawin natin? How do we track productivity? Are people still working? No? How do we communicate? How do we So that's part of organizational capabilities. You need to look at the organization na kailangan kaya pa rin mag-work kahit nasa iba-ibang lugar. The fourth perspective is, of course, patients. So yung mga patients, we started na halos lahat ng activities ng hospitals really face-to-face. But with the pandemic, nag-iba. So ang patients hindi na pupunta ng hospital. So how do you actually engage your patients if the patients are not inside the hospital? So mag-iba yung dynamic. So you look at this. Can you still deliver the same quality of care? No? The level of engagement kahit nasa labas sila. So yun yung challenge. You create a plan, you look at this perspective. How do we deal with patients? The fifth perspective is actually doctors. So, although hospital tayo, we have this assumption that the doctors will be there, but totoo lang, it also became challenging for a lot of doctors when it comes to hospitals. As a hospital management or owner, if you're looking at it, if you're looking at your doctors like customers, so you also need to deal, how do you actually keep them, to bring them in, no? So, may mga needs ang doctors to be able to help the hospital then. So it's a symbiotic relationship. So kailangan titignan mo rin from the perspective ng doctors kung paano makatulong. One of the things that we ask from doctors is actually loyalty. So we need to see during the time of the pandemic, can doctors still be loyal to your hospital? So it's something that you need to ask and see how you can actually work on that one. The last perspective, the sixth one, is actually pretty obvious, but it's often overlooked. Okay. The sixth one is actually governance and management. This is a perspective where the IT sees management and the process of governance as a stakeholder in IT, as a customer rin. So, when the pandemic happened, hindi lang gumulo yung buong staff. I'm sure even hospital management, nagulo rin sila. How do we decide? What do we need to prioritize? Do you have data enough to decide on something? No? Nasaan na yung reports? Nasaan na yung ano? So, hindi lang yung operations ang nagulo. Even the hospital owners na nayanig rin ang mundo nila. So, gawin natin dito. Okay? So, IT also should have, in a perspective when it needs to plan, how do we actually provide the requirements needed by management to function? So it's not only the top, the C-level management, but we also need to go down to the managers, department managers. Okay, it's not all about census. We need reports, status. Pick up na ba? So kailangan na-address yung needs na yun. Okay. So once you have identified the 6 perspectives of the hospital, alam mo na may 6 criteria, no? Pwede kang mag-umpisa, you could start. It's actually time to do some brainstorming, some planning. So you can do this on your own, kung maliit lang yung team mo, but much better if you have a team, you can start working on and start doing some brainstorming activities. Now, the brainstorming activities, there will be a lot of tools, strategic planning tools, but I want to keep it simple. That's why I got this screenshot. This is actually just a Word screenshot. So what you can do is you just come up with 3 columns. Using Word, it doesn't even have to Word, pwedeng scratch paper, no? Sulat ka lang ng ano. In the first column, okay, you have what is the current situation. So this is an honest assessment of the things that did not work. Ano ba yung status na hindi ka masaya? Ano ba yung pwedeng magbago? So you do that. Okay. That's the step 1. Step 2 is you go to the change that you want. So sabihin mo na, ito ang gusto ko magbago. I need to be 50%, no? Mag-target ka 10% of revenues or something. Maganda kung specific. You could be very specific kung sa mga dumaan pa sa mga seminars about surgical, you could create SMART goals. But something concrete to you, you can customize it. Let's say, gusto mo lang na mag-increase yung census ng patients to ganito. So you could have some specific goals. So puta ka sa step 2. No? You target the change that you want. But after, you go to the middle column and you look at the step 3. What do you need to do to get from point A to point B? Okay. So there are a lot of factors that come in the middle, what needs to get done. But just for the digital transformation aspect, you could focus on these 5 items. The others is a 6, but this 5 is something you can start with. For a lot of hospitals, you need to start with data. So sometimes you need some kind of information, pero yung data hindi available. Especially if the format of the data is in paper. Pwede ring mga data na hindi na-collect. Even just the idea, something very simple as emails of patients. When before the pandemic, parang, sige, afterthought na lang yan, no? Email ng patient, tsaka natin kunin during patient registration. Even the cell phone, sige. But now that we see na how do we actually engage kung hindi natin silang makontak, no? So nagkakaroon ng ibang reprioritization on how you look at data. Simple as email or contact number becomes important when nag-iba. Then you go towards how you store your data, how you retrieve, no? So isasama mo dyan sa process. And then when you have a better understanding of your data needs, you can look at applications. So not all applications need to be bought. Okay? So, some are easily bought like kung commodity, LIS, RIS. Some systems need to be built, very customized. So, kung customized reporting, may mga ganun. Yung iba naman workarounds, mga small customizations, small database tweaks sa HIS or sa integration point. Okay, so look at the applications. Processes, this is actually also a review of the different processes involved to make the change happen. Galing ka sa paper, maraming paper, how do you make it electronic? Okay. You also look at the checkpoints. Sometimes there should be an emphasis on the checkpoints because when the pandemic happened, I think a lot of the bottlenecks also came with a lot of the levels in terms of approval. So kailan ipa-approve kayo dito, ipa-approve kayo ganito, ipa-approve kayo ganito. Kaso nasa bahay lahat, no? So it doesn't mean na hindi natin gawin, pero if that level of approval needs to happen, that we need to look at it as a process. How do we actually improve the checkpoints? How do we make it fast? So lahat yan, tingnan. We look at technology. One of the things that really mattered during the pandemic was the availability of cloud. So cloud was something optional when the pandemic started, but before the pandemic started, but when the pandemic came, so parang cloud is really a viable option for the hospitals. And ito medyo masakit, but this is a reality. I've been working with hospitals and hospital management. This is a reality. We also need to look at how to manage staff. It might be time to downsize. That's hospital owners actually don't want to do that, but that might need baka kailangan, di ba? Yun ang ano doon. But sometimes you also need to hire depending on the services that you want. Sometimes you just need to transfer, no? Lipat ng mga tao dito para ma-augment yung mga nito and then retrain yung iba. Okay? And then the other activities is pag malinaw na yung data applications, pag mas malinaw na lahat ng kailangan gawin, you start looking at the partners that you want. It might be a vendor, it might be consultant, it might be someone inside the organization na may ibang skills. Okay. I want to go through each perspective just to give examples. I want to keep it simple para doable. Sometimes the frameworks, pagka masyado siyang complicated, hindi siya nagagamit. Mas gusto ko na very simple. Para pagka tapos itong meeting, uwi kayo, upo kayo, pwede na kayo makastart. Okay? It's just 3 columns. So we'll just go through samples, no? The financial. These are not recommendations. These are, you can customize it based on your hospital. But for example, the financial aspect, a lot of the hospitals struggled with the ability to accept different kinds of payments. Sometimes yung iba, cash lang talaga sila, hindi sila nakakatanggap ng credit card. Although yung iba nakatanggap ng credit card, but it needs to be on-site, face-to-face. No? So when online payments came in, when online payments were needed, wala sila. So it took some time. No? Buti na lang, mabilis mag-act yung iba, Paymaya, GCash, no? May mga ibang options. So dyan. But one thing that also in such situation was when they started doing telemedicine. Telemedicine as a technology was already there. It's just video conferencing of a doctor with a patient. However, there was no business model around it. For the hospital, there was a business model around it for the doctor. The doctor gets paid. But how does the hospital get paid? No? So there are some discussions about the business model of telemedicine for hospitals. Okay, so there are also other issues that come in, other revenue streams. How do we do with how do we manage other services palabas, yung mga on wheels na services, lab on wheels. Okay, so mobile labs, mga ganun. So maraming in-explore. So nasa loob yan ng financial. Okay. So when you look at this aspect of financial, pwede ka na magsabi ano yung change. You need to be specific as possible. Sometimes you just say, I just want to get online payments. So ilista mo na yung mga online payments na gusto mo. Some very common ones, no? But sometimes ang challenge is that even if you have online payments, you don't have an electronic way to consolidate your billings. So kahit na may patient billing ka, hindi naman ako consolidate electronically. So maraming paper behind the scenes bago mo magawa yung online payment. And then pag nagbayad yung online payment, yung pasyente, hindi rin naman nare-reconcile sa loob ng ano. So yung inefficiencies na yan, that is expected. Okay? Sometimes it can be frustrating, but that is expected. As long as you expect it, you can address it. So you slowly address all these inefficiencies inside. Okay? So when you look at that one, and you try to look at your capability, ano yung gusto mong mangyari. So sa gitna, pwede mong question, kaya ba ng HIS natin yan? Sometimes, kaya na. No? May mga times naman na baka hindi kaya. Do we need an accounting system? Okay? Or baka we actually really need to re-engineer the billing process. Okay? So i-digitize natin lahat from ordering hanggang sa SOA. Okay? And then integrate it with payment gateways para So may mga steps na pwedeng tingnan. So pag malinaw nito. Okay? This is just sample for financial. Internal processes is the challenge has been yung naramdaman for hospitals has been the constraints of paper. This is what I call the constraints of paper. So, maraming limitations talaga ang paper. It was manageable pag face-to-face, pero when everyone is working external, the hospital, it became a constraint. So, patient orders, requests, may paper pa yan, even just the idea na mag-order lang ako ng paakyat ng additional cotton balls, no? Paakyat ng mga ganito. So, yung iba naman sa HR side is mag-approve lang ng mga applications or mga leave, mga ganun bagay, no? Naka-paper yung iba. Okay, so you really need to look at your internal processes and try to check which ones are important to address. Nadagdagan rin tayo ng mga protocols, no? So maraming pre-assessment sa labas, nag-a-adjust yung mga hospitals. How do you create two systems in one hospital? So meron kang process for possible COVID patients, meron kang process for the normal patients, no? As you move along. So titingnan mo yan, you need to iterate and continuously improve. Ang challenge nito sa internal process, a lot of the systems, even if you buy one, so you bought an HIS, you have an LIS, RIS, dito mo maramdaman yung inefficiencies pag hindi sila naka-integrate. So there is a need to do some integration. Okay? So when you come up with a change that you want, you try to be as specific as possible. Sometimes it can be just having the ability to centralize a lot of the files. Kasi minsan kung kalat-kalat yan, no? So yung files ng isang tao na doon sa PC niya. So kung kailangan mo yung kanyang document, kailangan ko i-review. Nasa bahay pa siya, hindi mo ma-access. So you need to look at this, so paminsan can be important document or makaantay ka pa hanggang sa dumating. But if you can address through a centralized repository, file server, okay, you look at the possibility of automation. I want to emphasize that you don't need to buy a lot of stuff to do some automation. There are several tools that you can use to do automation. Sometimes yung email natin, especially if you're using Gmail or meron ng automated tools yan, if something happens, you can schedule something. So pwede yan. And then there are also features inside existing systems. So paminsan sa loob ng LIS natin, meron na palang capability mag-send, no? Ng mga labs. Meron ng capability na mag-online yung ibang LIS. Yung HIS naman can have some notifications, can have some automation inside, no? So i-assess mo lang kung ano yung existing and then work with it. But this is better done in coordination with the quality department. Kung meron kang quality, nag-monitor ng standards sa loob, policies, then this is a good time to work with them. The third one is to look at organization capability. A lot of the challenges of the pandemic came from what I call communication inefficiencies. So the bigger the hospital, the confusing it can get when it comes to communicating. So I'm sure naramdaman ng marami yan, biglang may isang grupo na sa Viber, may isang grupo na sa Messenger, may isang grupo na sa Telegram, may isang grupo na sa WeChat, no, na sa WhatsApp. Gumulo ng hanggang sa nagkaroon ng standardized and stabilized. However, even if it's stabilized, you also need to come up with standards para hindi na malito moving forward. You need to be deliberate about it. Okay. So another thing about communication is many hospitals don't give out hospital emails to their staff. Understandable kasi paminsan may gastos yan. Okay. But you also need to manage how to handle this situation, especially if you need to manage patient information. So alam naman natin yan, no? It's an unspoken situation. There are a lot of patient information that gets passed in personal emails sa mga ibang hospitals pagka wala silang hospital email. So may nakasunod doon, mikemuin@gmail.com, napapasahan ng mga patient information. Kasi kailangan i-process or tingnan. No? So I think this is a good time to look at all these processes, try to improve, and see what can work. Okay? So ideally, everyone should be in one platform. Dalhin mo yung hospital mo in one platform. And then that platform is accessible online. Okay? Ang malaking bagay sa platform is you look at it not only from the communication but also the ability to do work. So sometimes, kung confined yung work mo, if you do a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of PowerPoints or Word, and it's confined in one PC na sa loob ng na nahirapan yung hospital, you try to do tools. It's either centralized or Google Docs or Office 365. You look at it. Okay? Just explore. Hindi ko rin recommend na kumuha kayo kaagad, but you see if it has value sa organization niya. Another thing is to look at training. So maraming bagay na kailangan onboarding mga nurses, training mga doctors, onboarding ng other staff that can be done from home, baka pwede. You look at it. So mga possibilities is a centralized communication collaboration platform. You can look at an intranet or a content management system or e-learning. So maraming options dito sa loob ng organization capability. I'm sure you can look at different options, even just consolidating everything on Viber. Pwede rin. Viber already has end-to-end encryption na option and some other messaging protocols. You don't even need isa lang para sa lahat. You could say na when it comes to chatting, just use Messenger. When it comes to, so pwede kayong, it just needs to be deliberate and specific para alam ng lahat kung saan pupunta. Okay. Now, let's go to the last three, yung mga medyo importante. Patients. Okay. So ito yung malaking bagay. This is where the lifeblood of the hospital comes in. So how do you actually reach and engage with patients? Okay. So you look at all the different patient engagement channels. Okay. So ang challenge ngayon is nag-iba na. The patients, as much as possible, they don't want to come in the hospital pag hindi kailangan. So you look at the ability to engage with your patients online. Okay? So it doesn't have to be 100% online. Could be via email lang. Paminsan, some text lang for reminders. Baka pwede na. You also look at really standardizing your telemedicine protocols kung meron. This is not about specific doctor to doctor. Okay, so if you have services that requires consulting inside the hospital, kunyari psych services, rehab services, mga ganung bagay, no. So baka inside the hospital, baka you need to look at telemedicine, kahit video conferencing lang, you need to standardize it. Okay, so when you look at patients, you can start with something very simple. How to improve our website? So that they know about the schedules, they know about, so titingin ka lang doon, website. Magdadagdag pa tayong features. Ang website ba natin, meron doctor's directory, updated ba yung doctor's directory? Do we have enough information so that patients can call? Some hospitals don't have a social media presence. I'm sure a lot of the activities happen during March, April, May. A lot of the doctors started getting Facebook pages. So please like my page. No? Marami mga friends ko na, ganito. It was their attempt to increase engagement. No? And I'm sure hospitals are also looking into that. You can start considering, you don't even need a dedicated person inside. You could hire social media agencies. But it can be something na pwede nyo tingnan if it's important. Another thing that you need to look at patients, this is going into the realm of EMR. Patient engagement is one thing, okay? So at the customer service level. But if you need to look at the clinical outcomes, the level of service for patient care, you need to look at the start, how diagnostics come in. So sometimes a challenge is we can have electronic labs, but our nuclear med, our ECG, 2D echo natin, hindi naka-digitize. So kailangan pa rin pumunta ng patient just to get some stuff. So you need to look at your inventory of all the things that you need to send to the patient. Kailangan as much as possible digitize nyo lahat. You look at the possibility of a patient portal para at least na-store. No? It's not about email lang. Na-email ko na sa kanya pero hindi mo na-check kung anong ginawa doon. Okay? So better to have something. The patient portal also functions. Now you can actually have an appointment system for patients. You can look into having a mobile app for your hospital. Hindi siya kailangan. It's advisable. And then looking at the standard telemedicine platform. Okay. So for doctors, again, it's actually the constraints of paper. Paper chart, malaking bagay na pag-iwanan yung requirements ng doctors. So limited. Paano ko ma-access yung patient ko? Hindi andyan yung chart, no? So limited ang nila. Sometimes you just need to review. Do I need to go to the hospital to review something? Pwede bang inform na lang ako? So may mga ganung bagay. This is also a realization that although there was a surge of telemedicine in the early parts of the pandemic, I think the hospitals realized, and a lot of the healthcare industry realized, that telemedicine is actually very useful. It's an important tool, but it's not the end-all, be-all of any kind of digital transformation activity. It should be part, okay, but it's not enough. You need to look at other stuff, okay? It doesn't even make sense that you can actually talk to your patient face-to-face online sa video conferencing, hindi mo mahawakan yung chart. You don't have any data to look at. Andyan yung pasyente sa video, sa screen, pero hindi mo alam kung may allergies ba siya. Okay? So, kailangan mo tingnan yung overall experience for doctors. You need to improve the engagement. Okay? So, pag yung doctor's aspect at titingnan mo how can they manage their patients from home or from another location. Okay? They might need just access ng labs, but they might need to do some documentation. Baka kailangan nila gawin yung medical abstract, teacher summary nila from home, no? Yung mga CF4 na kailangan ng hospitals, baka pwedeng So you need to look at those. You need a way to communicate. Pwedeng mag-text blast, no? So kailangan mo lagyan ng plan on how to communicate. One of the challenges also during this time, this was always a challenge before, but this is mas challenging ngayon, is how to increase doctors' loyalty and utilizations. I've been working in hospitals for a long time, and sometimes I see different ways where hospitals try to engage their doctors. But there is one thing that I've learned in all these years. Doctors can be loyal to their shares. It's possible. But doctors are more loyal to the convenience for their practices. So, kung yung hospital gives the doctors the support and enables the doctors to manage and grow their practices, mas convenient sa hospital na yan. Mas loyal yung doctors. You can give the shares na kailangan sa mga doctors, but if you do not give them the convenience na kaya nila mag-manage, padala nila yung pasyente nila, yung lab results lumalabas, papadala ko dyan sa hospital na yan kasi pag pinadala ko yung pasyente ko, yung labs lalabas agad, makikita ko agad, okay? Yung PF ko lumalabas agad, nakikita ko agad. Any kind of convenience that goes into the practice ng doctor contributes to the doctor's loyalty. So, it's okay na doctors become owners and they become loyal to them, but yung mga doctors na talaga nakafocus sa practice nila, if you give them that tool, if you give them that mas malaking bagay. Okay? So, you cannot avoid when you talk with doctors, you cannot avoid going into an discussion of EMR. So maraming levels ng EMR, and EMR is not a simple thing to implement. It cannot implement it in 3 months, 6 months. It needs stages. Okay? So maraming capabilities na kailangan from each stage. That is the topic that I will discuss next week. So you start from a certain level and you go towards the dream of going paperless. So next week na yung iba. Okay, so last one, the last worksheet is for governance. One of the struggles has always been, even before, has always been enough data. But sometimes when you have the census, enough data, parang okay na. But if the situation is changing rapidly, sometimes you need some kind of real-time data. Kumusta ang occupancy natin ngayon? Kumusta yung pasok ng revenue? Kumusta yung ano? So some hospitals struggled during the pandemic. Ano bang status talaga natin? Kumusta ba? May pera pa ba tayo? May mga pasok pa ba? Ilan may pasyente? So may mga realizations about how the data inside the systems, the current systems, HIS, everything, can be useful for management. Sometimes yung hospital management, happy na sila with basic data reports. Pero that shouldn't be the case. Dapat meron kang way to be more responsive. You see more details. No? So that depending on the situation, depending on the changes in the environment, the management can adjust and respond. Okay? So titingnan mo yan, ano yung importante sa ano? You don't need a complete solution first time around. You can start with small reports. Sometimes you just need a better report generation tool. So kailangan ko lang ng mas maayos yung format. Merong automation na pumapasok. A report is generated in every week, every month. So gagawa mo lang ng process. Okay. Pwede rin mag-create ng data warehouse. There are some tools for that. Analytics. Merong dashboards. Makita mo, visualize mo yung data. So can be as simple as that, can be a big plan for the hospitals. There are some executives who are really data information hungry, mas advanced sila in terms of analytics, no? But sometimes they struggle with integration. So karamihan ng mga ginagawa nila is just pivot tables and of dumps, different dumps. Ida-dump natin data dito. Ganun. So there is always a way to improve on that one. Okay, so yun. So the worksheet we passed through, those are all just samples of the 6 perspectives. After this session, during the week, if you meet with your team, you can start planning for 2021. Okay. What's next? So pagka nag-brainstorm na kayo, you finalize your plans, yung mga projects na gamitin, mahaba yan, paminsan mahaba. Okay? So what you need to do is to prioritize. Prioritize. Malaking bagay. Hindi nyo kailangan gawin lahat in one go. Okay? Not all hospitals have that kind of resource. So kailangan mo talaga mag-prioritize. Sinong mauna? So you need to budget. Once malino yung budget, kung nasa IT department ka, ikaw yung CIO, ikaw yung IT manager, head ng IT department, you need to go to management and get it approved and funded. So ito na yung time na mag-build ka ng business case. But always show that this is a priority. Ano yung benefit. Okay? Then pag naayos na yan, you engage your team and then time to execute. Okay? Some ending thoughts. Patapos na tayo. 2021, the coming year, next year, malapit na. It's just less than a month away. It's going to be a transition year. Bakit? Because the new normal that we call today is not actually the new normal. It's going to be an old new normal. We will have a new normal once the vaccine comes in, once nag-stabilize yung ibang once mas malinaw na kung anong mga pwedeng gawin, anong pwedeng mga protocols sa pasok. The healthcare industry is still the response of the healthcare industry to the COVID and everything that's happening around it is still evolving. Okay? But it is important to note that the things will not go back to the way they were. Hindi na mangyayari yung 2019. No? Hindi na. Okay, the gains during this time will stay. I'm sure everyone has gotten some conveniences by doing online things, online banking, online shopping, online ordering. There are these gains na nakuha nyo. Ako, I didn't have GCash or PayMaya prior to the pandemic kasi akala ko okay na yung credit card lang, no? But having a credit card is enough. But hindi pala, no? So yung online banking, mas naging online banking. So these kinds of gains in the process, in the way we do stuff, will stay. But there are still problems that need to be solved. Paano yung mga integration, paano ka mag-engage sa patients, paano ka mag-engage sa doctors. As we move along, these things will be solved by a different group. No? So titingnan natin yan, i-observe natin yan. But kailangan maiwan na rin yung mga gains. Okay? However, if you are very deliberate about it, you are very strategic about it, you can take advantage of the situation. Hindi naman sa paano, pero the reality is we also need to look at what's available sa area natin. Kung nakaka-catch up ba yung mga competition or kaya ba natin address, or even just being competitive for your own services. Kaya ko i-deliver yung mga services na sinabi ko. So baka pwedeng mag-improve pa. So take advantage of the situation. So these are my personal recommendations. You don't need to do this. You do your own strategic plan. You come up with your own list. Or these are some things that sa tingin ko hindi ma-avoid for 2021. You go and look at online payment gateways. Okay, it's not just about the ability to collect or pay. It's also the different kind of business models available. I talked to one payment gateway where they actually do installment plan for large amounts. So above 50,000, kaya nila mag-installment. They take on the risk of the installment habang bibigyan na nila yung buo doon sa ano. Sabi ko, pwede gawin sa hospital yan, pwede daw. So may mga ganong groups, no, na kaya nila. So pero siyempre may mga business models sa doon, may percent na kukuha. But it's something na pwedeng explore. Okay. It's time to go beyond the HIS. I think we realize that the HIS is not an EMR. It is not something that we use to manage our patients, to care for our patients. It's something that we use to manage patient data, patient ordering, okay, patient billing. It's very important, but it's not enough. So you need to go beyond the HIS. Okay, you need to look into going to clinical. Tingnan natin paano mag-improve yung clinical aspect. We also need to integrate. If you get a lot of systems, integrate. Okay, invest in a communication tool. Malaking bagay siya. The delays that you get just for waiting na nasaan na yung file, pa-send, pa-message naman ako kung andyan na, ganun, it adds up eh. It creates inefficiencies in the process. Okay lang kung dalawa lang kayo nag-uusap, but if you're a team of 10, a team of 20, kailangan nyo ng some tool. You don't need to, the investment doesn't even need to be money. It can be an open source solution that you just invest time in trying to understand. Okay, and you cannot avoid cloud. You need to go to cloud. Look at implementing a patient portal. Kahit na may vaccine na, kahit na ano, with the convenience na meron na para sa iba, na mag-aabang ka na lang na dumating yung delivery shopping mo. Kahit na ano lang yan, simpleng sibuyas lang yan in order mo sa part. Hindi ka na pupunta sa ano, i-deliver na sa iyo. Paano pa kaya yung lab results mo, no? So masasanay na yung mga patients. You need to go to where the patients are going. So kailangan maka-implement ka ng some standard way to engage your patients na kahit nasa bahay sila. Okay? And then EMR for doctors, you really need to look into this. Start na. And then business intelligence. So again, you don't need to buy. You just study. Some reporting tools are available. Merong open source. Merong mga cheap alternatives. Even well-executed Excel sheet can give us some intelligence, some insights into the business. So you just need to be strategic and deliberate about it. Okay, so that's it. Gaano ba katagal yung ano?
1 hour.
1 hour, exacto. Okay. So at this point, kung merong questions, or clarifications from the audience, pwede niyong i-chat. Baka mas malinaw pagka i-chat.
Hello, everyone. Feel free to chat any questions that you might have. We'll pick those questions and then we'll have Doc Mike answer them. So if you have any questions, just make sure to chat. Thank you.
Yeah. Kung medyo nabitin, I really want to talk about an EMR. Medyo malaking bagay sa akin yung EMR, pero maano kasi ito eh. Yes, may part 2. Ito na pala yung mga questions. Okay. Yes, may part 2 in terms of EMR. Kasi merong EMR roadmap na kailangan, yung tinatawag na EMR adoption model. I will be discussing, trying to simplify it on how hospitals can go through each level ng journey. So saan mag-start, saan yung mga kailangan gawin, no? Sino mga unang engage. So merong part 2 next week. So December 14 ang target. Independent naman yun. Don't need to attend it kung okay na yung strategy, but I'm hoping na sana meron maka-attend from this one. Yes, si Chloe. Hi, Chloe. I-share ko yung presentation after this. Questions pa? I welcome questions or okay. Is it better to start from scratch or migrate, integrate with existing HIS providers out there? Merong pros and cons for each one. Merong best practices sa existing. So the best practices come in when it comes to financial and patient administration, and especially government requirements. So for example, existing HIS providers will have your PhilHealth requirements ayos na, meron ng DOH requirements ayos na. Okay? But if the HIS is open to integration, pwedeng meron kang room to grow and add more functionalities and capabilities sa hospital. Ganun. So may pros and cons. I don't suggest starting from scratch kung long-term and konti pa yung need. No? Maliit pa yung need. Okay. Question from ZZMC, Sambuanga Siguto. Are there hospitals right now that's implementing most of the things that you discussed? Okay. The major hospitals are trying to implement yung iba-ibang aspects. Hindi naman lahat sabay-sabay, no? They have priorities. So I'm currently working with the Medical City to implement an EMR. But other hospitals are also looking at their own EMR. Some hospitals already have some reporting tools, some business intelligence tools. So meron na yan. Yung ibang hospitals are wala hospital na meron lahat, but the big ones, St. Luke's, TMC, Makati Med siguro, they are, andun na sila, malinaw sila sa gusto nilang gawin, very deliberate sila, so meron na silang mga projects in each perspective.
Doc Mike, there's a question from Paramount. So, if Med Project is offering a one-stop shop solution for all hospital management problems.
Okay. For now, we're focusing on clinical modules and integration. But we're looking into hospital, the HIS side, to improve yung integration points. So there are some plans, pero ongoing pa. With regards to telemedicine, is there any accreditation or certification needed from DOH? Okay. For a business model inside the hospital, doon ako mag-focus. Walang specific certification. However, merong mga guidelines na nilabas yung iba-ibang grupo. And the important thing is to follow the best practices in terms of patient privacy, patient confidentiality, and data security. Okay? So as long as you meet the industry standards, okay na muna yun. Hindi ko alam yung future kung meron silang gagawing certification. There is an activity sa DOH about telemedicine, pero hindi siya certification, it was a recommendation in a sense. Hindi siya certification na magkakamali ka kung hindi ka gumamit sa mga certified. No? So, meron ng recommended groups, but wala pa ngayon na accreditation or certification, especially for hospitals. Okay. How do you align the hospital digitalization plans and comply with government regulations? Okay. So when it comes to government regulations, usually na-address na siya ng mga ibang vendors. Built-in na sa ibang systems. However, there are certain requirements na hindi. So kailangan pa minsan nagko-customize. So kailangan siya ipasok talaga dun sa loob ng hospital plan. Ano yung importante sa hospital digitalization? Kasi yung iba hindi na-address ng HIS. So for example, yung DNR, no? However, the HIS will handle DOH, PhilHealth, and should handle BIR. So usually mga HIS kino-cover nila yan. Ang ano kasi sa innovation is usually na pag-iiwanan yung government, which means that sometimes you just need to comply with specific government regulations, pero yung hospital digitalization plan mas advanced na. So nag-a-address ka na. Right now, although merong mga EHR validation sa hospital, it is about validation for specific reports. Wala pa tayong validation na nangyari sa states about utilization and level of care. So wala pang ganun. So, but some hospitals are already targeting that. So some hospitals are targeting na dapat 80% ng mga doctors nag-access na dapat na. So meron ganun na targets. Okay? Napag-iwanan yung government. So sometimes you just need to comply with government, pero the digitalization needs to go beyond what government requires. Meron pa ibang question?
Doc Mike, there's one question. If the healthcare organization does not have a CIO, who should lead the effort in digital transformation to ensure that it will have the highest probability of success?
Yeah. Even without the CIO, kahit meron CIO, digital transformation should always be an organizational activity, effort. Dapat yung CEO ang ano dyan. Paminsan, depende sa situation, baka kailangan mas strong yung, especially if you're going into the clinical aspect of the plan, baka kailangan strong rin yung drive ng medical director, yung leadership ng doctor side. But if it is administrative or business model or revenue, then the CEO should be dapat strong talaga. The messaging should come from the top, malinaw. Tapos as much as possible, hindi confusing. Paminsan kasi pwedeng magsabi yung CEO, all out tayo, habang magsabi naman yung CFO, magtitipid tayo. So, confusing paminsan yun. Pag ganun ko confusing, paminsan mahirapan ka. So, the messaging should be pretty standard. And it should be driven from the top talaga. Meron isang question dito. How about government hospitals? Hindi ko makuha yung context. Okay. So, about implementing the most of the things discussed in government hospitals. Wala akong masyadong feedback from government hospitals, pero the big ones, especially yung sa Quezon City Heart Center, Lung Center, Kidney, medyo malalaki yung mga budget nila. So they are already going into specific projects that address yung internal processes, efficiencies ng diagnostics, even EMR. Okay? So meron talaga silang mga projects na ganun. Hindi ko lang alam dun sa iba, sa mga provincial, pero yung mga big national ones, meron silang investments sa EMR and digital transformation. Ano lang siya ngayon, mas matunog ang digital transformation because of the need, pero sila, yung iba dyan, nauna na prior to, even years before, wala pang pandemic, talagang nagka-transform na sila ng kanilang processes.
Doc Mike?
Oo.
Yeah, you have one question from Miss A. So,
Yeah.
did you see it?
Oo. This is about implementing some modules in BizBox, HIS. It actually depends on the hospital kung anong very specific modules na kailangan nila. So, meron talagang challenge eh. Actually, yung sinasabi, in-explain ko dyan when it comes to HIS is sometimes we ask a system to do something it was never designed to do. So we look at an HIS, we want to do everything sa loob nun. The HIS is very good at managing patient registration, order, billing, some government requirements. You need to appreciate that yun yung ano no. But if you need to go beyond it, kahit na anong piga mo, anong customize mo, baka hindi ka na, you need to look at other options. Pwedeng iba na naka-integrate, pwedeng palit lahat. So yung major hospitals ngayon actually are going through some major changes. So minsan yung iba palit lahat. Okay? So you need to plan for this. Ang reality talaga is when you look at this is basta meron kang isang system, understand what it was really designed to do. Pag umabot ka na sa point na you are asking it to do something na talagang hindi naka-design sa kanya, mahirapan ka talaga. Hindi siya fit na doon sa requirements. You either need to customize it or you need to grow out of it. Parang ganun. Recommend a certain HIS that is best for government hospitals. Mahirap sagutin yan kasi actually ongoing ang search ng ibang government hospitals on HIS. There's this growing dissatisfaction about what an HIS should do for hospitals. So, yun nga, it's not enough just doing an HIS. Meron mga pumapasok ngayon na galing sa labas, but hindi pa widespread. So, yung mga iba, just trying to wait and see ano yung ginagamit ng iba. But it would be nice if we have a local solution that can address yung Philippine requirements in terms of HIS and also EMR. Any more questions? I hope na useful naman sa lahat. I try to keep it simple and short. Kung meron pang ibang questions, I appreciate an email. Email lang kayo or punta kayo sa ano. Thank you, Chloe. Email lang kayo. Open naman ako lagi sa ano. I'm always open for discussion. I like discussions about health IT and EMR. Next week, I plan to focus on the clinical aspects of the implementation. I'm sure a lot of hospitals are trying to go into EMR and maraming challenges dyan. So, sana maka-attend kayo next week. I-post namin yung ano, yung mga naka-register na email na lang namin sa inyo yung link. Sana maka-attend kayo. Tapos i-post na rin namin sa ano, sa website namin. Okay? Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the time. Nag-attend kayo. And then hope to see you next week. Thank you.